Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Firstly, can I start by asking how Ethan is after missing the match on Monday?
Yes, like I mentioned, sadly, a knee injury. He's got a cartilage injury. Bit a complicated situation. Obviously, a surgery would have meant him out for the season because if you do a surgery anyhow, you would be out for a few months. We have right now, after more consultations, decided to try to go the conservative route. I think there is a good chance if the rehab program works in a proper way this will be successful. But it still means that he's out for definitely a few weeks. So normally you would expect him to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Means on this side, before the international break, we won't see him back in team training. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works in a proper way. Then we would have him available at least for the run in. But there is also still a chance that in the end this conservative route doesn't work out and he would need a surgery in the end. So fingers crossed. At the moment, I would say 50-50 chance to have him back for the run in. Of course, we all hope that there is a chance.
Is that just rest then? Is that, when you say the more conservative route, is that just purely rest?
It's rehab work, so obviously, yes, the next 2 weeks, he won't be able to do some running stuff or something like this. So it's more or less like, yes, of course, to rest him, but also from day one on, also like to do several therapies and treatment and, also injections and something like this. And then hopefully it settles and we have him back then at some point on the other side of the March international break. But again, so in the next 4 to 6 weeks, he will definitely not be back in team training, and then we will see if we have him available for the run.
And I guess for him, because he's already had the earlier injury this season, he will want to play between now and the end of the season. So you have to take that into consideration, that he's going to want to be part of things with you guys doing so well at the top of the table.
Yes, of course, he's our captain, one of our most important, if not the most important player in our squad, not just from his quality on the pitch, but also off the pitch. Pretty important leader for us. Really unlucky for him. He had a long-term injury, was out for nearly 10 weeks already, and then right now it's the other side, so it's the other knee anyhow. So it's unbelievably unlucky after he had a season last season where he hardly missed a second, more or less. Like, it's how are the chances? But sometimes these things happens in football, and injuries, also belong to the life as a professional football player. Of course, it's also tough for him, but he was already, of course, he was a bit down after the first diagnosis. But right now, after we heard and found out that there is a chance for the conservative route and that there is a chance for him also to be involved in the run-in, he's much more optimistic again and much more upbeat and wants to try everything in order to return back as soon as possible.
In terms of cover for the positions he plays, because obviously he plays at centre-back and in midfield, I know you've had a number of injuries this season, but do you feel have you got enough cover there to see you through?
Well, we have to prove it. So it's of course unlucky that also Max Wöber on this position is out, and he's also a tough season. But obviously also on the centre back position, we have a few options who can play there, and also in the holding midfielder position. They're still out. Tanaka, Ilya Gruev, and then Joe Roswell right now in this area. Of course, I would prefer to have my captain available, because wherever he plays and if he plays, he's always unbelievably important for us, for the whole balance of the team. But if not, then it's up to find some other solutions, and we'll find some other solutions.
I think you said, I'm not sure if it was after the Sunderland match or after Monday night, but I've definitely heard you say it when you said, when you win matches like these, coming from behind, you need to enjoy the moment. Otherwise, what's the point in doing this job? Have the last 3 days or 2 or 3 days been enjoyable after arguably your biggest win of the season on Monday?
Yes, obviously this type of wins against Sunderland, also this win at Bramall Lane, you have to enjoy it, and also this is good for the whole mood, for the whole spirit, for the togetherness, for the self-belief. Because when you know you can win tight games, you can turn games. I think Sheffield before, they were, if I'm not completely wrong, 23 times during the season in lead. 20 times they won the game, 3 times to draw. So normally they always win the game. They've never lost a game after being in lead, and we were the only team in an away game at Bramall Lane, when excited home crowd was also buzzing after a great start for them, we were able also to find a way to turn this game, and then I think in a tight game to win this game also deserved anyhow. And this is then great for the whole team spirit, especially once you have a blow like before the game and you find out that your captain is injured that bad. So it says a lot about the spirit of the team and the self-belief. And of course these type of wins are very, very important for the confidence and also for the going forward. And of course we want to keep this momentum further on.
Daniel, on the Ethan Ampadu situation, obviously he's out for a little while. If, say, another centre-back was to pick up an injury and you've got Jayden Bogle on 9 yellow cards, and that's 3 games, which is a bit of an issue, where is your focus then? Because you have to look at the scenarios. How much trust is from James Debayo to step up if required, or would you rather look at a Sam Byram having to come into centre-back if required?
Yes, we have Josh Giavogi, who has also played this position before, so for his former clubs. For us, I think just once in the cup game. So he's definitely an option. Sam Byram is an option. I know Ilya Gruev has played for Bulgaria, also like in the centre back role, not naturally, but James Debayo anyway. So depends a bit on the situation, what you need. If you need a bit more pace in the last row, or you need perhaps a strong header, or perhaps a player who's also a bit more strength in this quality of the build up. So for the moment, we've got Joe Roden and Pascal Struijk ready. Hopefully also Max Wöber will be back then after the international break, and he deserves also a bit of luck in order to have him back available. Each and every day helps, and it's also good that obviously we have a busy final week before the international break, but next week will be a bit more relaxed and gives us a bit time. And then obviously the international break will also help, hopefully then also in terms of recovery. But if we need to find a creative solution on the centre back position, we'll find someone.
And the Jayden Bogle thing is important because he's just probably since the first Sheffield United game, he's absolutely grown into the shirt and the club, hasn't he? So to lose him would be a huge blow for you, wouldn't it?
Yes, but over a long course of the season, 46 games, you also would expect that sometimes a player is not available. Either it's due to whatever, even illness, or perhaps sometimes there's a little injury, or he's not. He's booked because of 10 yellow cards and suspended or whatever. So it could happen. Of course, I would prefer if he managed also to go through the next games without having a 10th yellow card, but you never know. So hopefully he stays calm and doesn't have to be there with a tactical foul or something like this. I think there were also 1 or 2 avoidable yellow cards in the recent weeks. We spoke about this topic, but he's so crucial, important for us. Defending wise, he has improved a lot, but also like in going forward, he has proven his worth in more or less each and every of the last games. Of course, important player for us.
And you've had a 7-0, you've had some great away wins, and you've had 2 of the most dramatic wins we've seen in some years here. So there's been something for everybody watching Leeds United. Do you feel at the moment you're in your prime at this club?
Well, that's difficult. If you praise yourself too much that you're in your prime, then the setback is around the next corner. So I try to be careful and try to make sure that, especially the game after a big win, is then really a complicated game, and don't feel like right now it eases up because, of course, we had difficult games against Sunderland or right now Sheffield, and we're able to find a way to win these games also like in great fashion and had great performance before. But right now we face also a pretty strong side with West Brom. I wouldn't say it's easier than the last game. So we played against Sunderland, and we all still know how difficult this game was. Yes, they're sitting on position 4. West Brom, who's sitting on position 5, I wouldn't label them an easier target in comparison to Sunderland. So for that, we have to be switched on, and have to keep going, and have to be good in the decisive moments and the small details again, and can't underestimate any detail in the game. And for that, I'm not too carried away. And speaking about a great shape or our prime, we know that we are in a really good shape and we have great momentum. We want to ride this momentum, of course, further on, but you have to be switched on and focused. Otherwise, next setback is just around the corner.
You sometimes talk about the handwriting of other head coaches. but do you feel that your handwriting is as strong as it could be now after nearly 2 years at the club, Daniel? Are you they're almost in the image that you want them?
Well, in general, I always like managers and coaches who are not like a flag in the wind, but you could see the handwriting. So there are different ways in order to be successful in football. So you can dominate possession and like to attack. That's a bit our way. Otherwise, wouldn't score so many goals. You could concentrate on defending really well, perhaps even to park the bus. You could concentrate on whatever, a bit old school 4-4-2, long balls, fighting for second balls, and each and every approach is allowed and possible to play attractive and also to be successful. For me, just important that you really see the handwriting and you're not like a flag in the wind and it's a bit coincidence how you play. So I like when you see that a manager is working methodically with his team and has a clear approach and wants to improve this also and also to be flexible in the approach, but the principles are always clear to see. So I like managers where you can tell when you see his team playing without knowing the color of the shirt. No, this is his style, and this is also what we are trying to implement. But again, so I don't like to praise our style too much or whatever. If someone wants to do this, yes, that's great. If someone says no, I prefer proper 4-4-2 and parking the bus, that's also fine anyhow. But I just will stick to my approach, and if someone likes it, then yeah, is invited also to follow us. So this will always be my handwriting for my teams, and we still want to be flexible. Also, like we've changed the base formation, for example, and also sometimes if you force a bit more like to attack through the center over the wings, of course you have to stay flexible and not to be stubborn anyhow. But the principle should be clear to see, and of course we're working on it.
And when you look at the playoff situation, 5th and 6th and below it, and West Brom are in that mix, is there a suggestion then that it might be a bit more open game because they're fighting really for 2 places because the top 4 seem to be fighting for the others amongst themselves?
Well, you never know. We have also faced sides who are fighting for the top 2, and it was like you have to be patient in order to open them. You never know before the game, but what I have to say, so of course West Brom in the beginning of the season had a slightly different approach. They were always really well structured against the ball and pretty strong against the ball. I like, for example, a lot Tony Mowbray's handwriting because his teams are always possession based and he goes for it and he plays offensive, and it feels a bit like they have really lots of individual quality, West Brom, and feels a bit like he loves them to play football and unleashes them a little bit, and they're enjoying this. So they have dominated possession in the last games like no other team in this league. Normally we are perhaps even slightly better in these topics, but we played against the strongest opponents. It was also then not that easy to dominate each and every period of the game, but they have done this, you have to say, and yeah, lots of experience, many high quality individual players, and yeah, they're able to dominate teams. So I think since he overtook, I think in average he was there with more than 60% possession in his games, and this is his handwriting. So he always stands for attacking and also being good in possession, being there with lots of rotation and flexible in the approach. I really like his approach, and we have to be on it also against the ball, especially in order to make sure that yeah, we're on the right end in terms of the result.
Hi Daniel, how did Edmund Reamer and the staff enjoy your absence on Monday night, and what have they said about was a pretty rare experience for them?
Yes, hopefully not too much, because otherwise they want me always to stay away. Yeah, but credit to them, they were pretty successful. So I wonder if some other manager has a point average like Eddie. Meanwhile, 1 game, 3 points average per game. I have to fight if I want to be competitive. So I think during my lifetime I won't achieve it again. So they've done exceptionally well. Obviously, it's also like not easy for them because obviously they have a bit more like a background role, important role, and crucial and decisive role for me. But yeah, it's also something different if you have to show some steel a bit, also like on the sideline, and also like Bramall Lane is loud anyway. It's not like you can give lots of tactical advices during the game, but sometimes to calm a player down or to give some support in a positive way, of course, it's a slightly different role, and they've done fantastically well. Obviously, we were also connected somehow, and I gave them also my thoughts, what I want to have in terms of substitutions, for example, or when I wanted to change a bit, it was still possible to communicate with them and give some hints. So it was not like I was sitting in a restaurant and having a glass of wine and didn't follow the game. So we're still pretty strong connected, but it was a different role, of course, for them. Yes, and they've delivered excellent, but I hope they haven't enjoyed it too much.
What's the situation with Patrick Bamford right now, and have you got any other injuries to talk about?
No, not back in team training. I'm also struggling right now to give you really like a time frame, because I've done this twice before. So in the beginning of January, I spoke about 4 to 6 weeks, and then I said that probably after the Sunderland game he will be back in team training. Right now there's still a little awareness in his hamstring, and he's still on individual training. He's doing a lot and building up also like his fitness levels, and working hard with our rehab coaches, but not back in team training. So for that, I don't want to put additional weight on his shoulders. So it lasts as long as it lasts. And of course, he's working desperately in order to be back in team training as quick as possible. But he's not back yet.
Hi, Daniel. Obviously, there's been reports of Angus this week. I'm not going to appreciate the position where you can and can't say certain things. But in general, when you have significant boardroom changes, does that unsettle your plans long term? And have you ever had that in your managerial career?
Yes, like always. So I think it's professional business, and it's quite normal. So if you're doing well as a club, then there's lots of interest, and it's normally also a good sign. So if a club is progressing well, then there's lots of praise for the players, for the staff, for everyone who's connected, and it's a good sign if also other clubs are, for example, interested in signing our players, or perhaps coaching staff members or whatever. So otherwise, if no one would be interested in our players, our staff members, our coaches, then it would be difficult. So I think it belongs to this business that if you're doing well, there is lots of interest and you have to handle it. And again, I never comment any rumors or speculations. I'm used to it, and perhaps as a bit younger, unexperienced manager, then sometimes distracted if there are some rumors. For example, I had it also as a young manager, then I was always a bit more nervous when there was interest from some other clubs in our key players, for example, and I got the feeling, I have to speak about it or whatever. So no, that's quite normal. It's a good sign, and again, if it doesn't belong to the sport, then again, it's not a topic for me to speak about it in public at all. And again, stick to what I said also last week. So there is not 1% attention I put on other topics than just football and just being successful and just trying to win the next game. So no chance to distract me and my boys from being successful in what we're doing and trying to focus on the next game and win the next game. All the other topics are some questions for other people. So I will never speak about board members or changes there or something like this, or some not even about rumors or speculations or something like this. So again, we are fully focused on being as successful as possible in sport, and that's my only topic.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And Manus Solomon and Joe Rothwell, obviously, they've been in really impressive form recently. Whenabouts do you normally decide when you might go for a permanent transfer for your loan players in a season? Is it after the season? Is it just before?
I always like to be in the driver's seat as a club, but if you have a loan agreement, you're not in the driver's seat because there are more or less three parties. So for that, I don't like to pretend that you're more in the driver's seat yet you are. It's not just our decision anyhow, so it's not our players. And for that, you also have to totally respect that they are with us. With us, it's great, and we enjoy the time and want to use it as possible. And there is a time also to speak about what the future might bring, but it's not during a season, especially also not during a crucial time. Yeah, sometimes you start already a few talks behind the scenes a little bit earlier than just after the season. But right now, I think it will be crucial also for them both where we play, and also for their mother clubs at the moment. It will be crucial for them to make a decision where we will be in the next season. And before nothing is confirmed, it also doesn't make sense to progress any further talks or to have a decision. So I think a decision will just be made when it's really confirmed in which league we will play.
Hi, Daniel. Joel, since arriving here, has had his moments where he's had critics, maybe unfairly, and you've always spoken very, very highly of him, especially behind the scenes. Start of the season when he wasn't playing so much, he was coming off the bench a lot behind Matteo, and you praised his team ethic, the way he was selflessly working hard in training and waiting for his chance. He's now joint top in the Golden Boot race. Golden Boots is something you said you're not interested in, but how pleased are you for him that he has consistently scored since the start of last season, but he's had these critics and he is now coming good and getting goals, and even in the last couple of games playing pretty well at 10 as well?
Well, I'm not so interested in Golden Boot, but I would also take it. So there's no doubt about this. And I had several strikers who won them, also in this league already. So for that, I wouldn't be disappointed or annoyed if he wins it. So he's also invited to score further on goals. But it's all about the team. And again, it's also like, yeah, it's quite normal when you have 46 games. You have different periods. Sometimes you're in your prime and on the top of your game. And sometimes you have a bit more challenging times, especially as a striker. I was a striker, and I know sometimes you find it also difficult to score a goal. At the moment, you have to say that you can see that he's playing really with confidence. And even if he drops in sometimes also during the game, perhaps in a bit deeper role, I think he's also like, he plays with confidence, even if he plays a bit like behind the striker. We've done this with Matteo, for example, in the last game, and even there, his tidiness and touch on the ball, you could really feel his confidence. He had also a few other spells, but it's totally up to him. His quality was never in doubt, and for me, he has shown this quality more or less like over several seasons and over long-term period. And for that, for me, it was always clear, if you stick to him and back him, he will always deliver goals and assists. So he's made for doing this and delivering end products. Yes, not always in a manner like a number 10 who is unbelievable mobile and beats 5 players and chips the ball into the goal. Or perhaps also not like a striker who is then attacking each and every cross with a torpedo header or something like this. He's doing this in his way, and if he's got a ball on his left foot, then he's as calm as you like, and for me then really like in terms of finishing the best in this league and outstanding and a top class teammate as well. Yes, he's also worked unbelievably hard to achieve a special fitness level. It's also important for him, because once he's top fit and can also deliver lots of sprints and high speed running and can deliver lots of cover distance also in the pressing against the ball. When you are physically top fit, then you can also play with confidence. This is what he's doing. So he's worked hard in order to gain this level, and he's also invited to keep going exactly in this way. He's doing outstanding at the moment for us. Yes.
Adam Armstrong is somebody we all know very well from Wembley, and he's well known to championship defences. How big a threat will he be on Saturday, and what danger does he present to you on Saturday as a striker now for West Brom?
Yes, obviously, especially on this level, proven goal scorer. Whenever he has played on championship level, he has scored many goals, always double figures. Great movements in behind, technically good, smart player, also like difficult to control him. So it's one of the major tasks also for us to control a player of his quality. But if we just will concentrate on Armstrong, then we have a problem, because they have many threats in the offense, and we also have to make sure that we control the players who assist for him. I think, again, it will be a team effort in order to control the offensive threats of West Brom, but of course, there's a reason why West Brom was so keen to sign him, and why he scored so many crucial goals to control Armstrong and his movements in behind, and also his quality on the ball is always crucial if you want to be successful against West Brom. So one of the major tasks for the weekend, yes.
Stuart's going to do his question.